One of the biggest lies that progressive people like to say is just that, the idea that their ideology brings progress. That if society adopts the progressive mindset, then given enough time, we get closer to godhood, we achieve perfection. And in order to have this lie, they have to lie about the past. They have to focus only on the negatives that the past has brought, in order to say that society used to be a systemically oppressive thing where everything was bad and horrible, and only through their mindset and only through their ideology can we better ourselves. And they even have a pejorative term for people who resist their version of progress, and that is being a reactionary. So, for example, if you do not like the fact that Drag Kids Story Hour is a thing, well, you're a reactionary, right? So you're reacting to progress, which, of course, progress doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. Like, for example, a cancer can progress, so it's not necessarily great. There are all ideologies come with a package of things. Like some of them can be good, but others can be bad. So reacting to the negative ones is what a healthy and normal society should do. Like not being a reactionary would be a problem, especially when an ideology suggests something really dumb. But to further my point, you will see that, and I'm pretty sure that you have seen similar memes before, where progressives are going to say that the past was incredibly bad. Like everything that happened in the 50s was awful. There was absolutely nothing good. And we couldn't think about one single issue that the 50s had which was better than what we have today. So here you have the Sock Down Left, which is a content creator for left-leaning ideology, which is saying that I wish America could go back to the 50s when things were a lot simpler, right? So it shows a family which is having a good day at the park. Now, of course, SDL immediately says that, well, the father is secretly gay. Of course. You know, like this was definitely the trend in the 50s, where every single family had the husband being secretly gay. This was also a trope in Hollywood for a while, and in a lot of pop cultural things, that the homophobe actually happened to be gay. Like many movies have this. And, sure, like it does happen. I have seen politicians that were advocating for family-friendly thing ending up actually having gay relationships and then losing their positions. But to suggest that this was such a trend to the point where it was incredibly common is disingenuous, right? Because if most people were actually gay, then homophobia wouldn't exist. Like, why? If everyone secretly likes something, then why would they keep liking it in secret? Like, they would be open about it, right? So this is clear bullshit propaganda. The child has polio. Right, now, of course, as I mentioned before, there are certain positives and negatives of living in the past. The fact that there were diseases that didn't have cures yet is definitely a thing. Yes, the kid could have polio, but I could also argue that in the 50s, the chances of the child being morbidly obese were very low because they didn't have access to all this fat food. People were encouraged to work out. The concept of beauty did exist, and the concept of healthy body and healthy mind is something that even the communists at the time were arguing for. People were encouraged to practice sports. As you can see, even in this picture, you have like the father holding a baseball. So, advantages and disadvantages. So to simply say, oh, well, in the past they had polio. Yeah, in the present they have morbidly obesity. And at least in the past they were trying to fight against the polio epidemic, and they considered it to be a bad thing. In the present, they are encouraging the fatness epidemic. And they're considering a bad thing to talk against it. In any way, shape, or form. It's horrible. Like, how dare you suggest that people should work out? How dare you suggest that people should have better diets? Mind your own business and pay taxes so that it can go to the public healthcare. Right? So, interesting observation, is it not? You have the girl saying, I'm not allowed to wear pants or go to college. Yes, I mean, right now you're not allowed to use rap lyrics on the internet. There is a girl in the UK which posted some limericks, and because she had the N-word within the rap song, she got a visit by the cops. Yeah, like every society is not going to allow you to do certain things. Like the idea that, oh, we're progressive now and we're fighting against boundaries is bullshit. You're creating new boundaries. Yeah, like the season 1 of South Park could never have been done today. Well, oh my god, also, so like all you care about is saying the N-word. No, I'm just giving one example. Like there are many other examples of things that you are not allowed to do today because society doesn't allow you. And back then, again, victimless crimes. Like posting rap lyrics, no one gets hurt. Going with pants to college, no one gets hurt. But, societies or various ideologies will tell you you're not allowed. But not to mention, it's also interesting to point out that women at the time didn't have to work at an office, right? Like they didn't have to be slaves at a corporation. Like this is something that I found very interesting with Western ideologies, right? So like staying at home, being a stay-at-home mother and taking care of the children, that is oppressive, okay? That is patriarchal, that is oppressive. But becoming a wage slave at McDonald's, right? Going and sucking the corporate cock, oh, that is very progressive, liberating, enlightenment, right? So like being a single mother with 5 cats, working at Vox magazine, and being a wage slave over there, oh, that is liberating, right? So as long as the woman is beholden to a corporation and she signs a contract to work at a company, then that's fine. But if she chooses to be a stay-at-home mother and is just doing the house chores, and by the way, 2023 to do the house chores is very simple compared to what it used to be in the 1950s. Oh, but that's patriarchal, that's horrible, that's gender stereotype, right? Does that make any sense? I can't get through my day without a shit ton of drugs. Was that a thing back then, though? Because I'm starting to press X to doubt, given the fact that all of these exaggerations are surrounding this lady, and the idea that, like, most people were doing drugs, I kind of press X to doubt. But even if that's the case, don't people do drugs today? Isn't marijuana being legalized? But even then, right, like, you can go to a psychiatrist, and if they diagnose you with depression or other stuff, don't they give you drugs? Like, how are things that much different? Don't they have, like, a drug epidemic right now with fentanyl and whatnot in the United States? Like, is that not a thing? Have we progressed? Maybe it's because they didn't vote left. All these people didn't vote left enough, so that aspect of society hasn't improved yet. And of course, the grandfather beat the shit out of his son, molested the daughter, and no one will ever do a goddamn thing about it. Yes, because up until the progressives came, this was socially acceptable in all cultures throughout human history, right? It's not the fact that despite that there are laws, there still are criminals out there that break the laws, and they are aware that they're breaking the laws, and they're trying to get away with it. No. It's clearly that every single grandfather did this back in the day. Now, spanking did exist. Now, in some parts, in some countries, it's considered illegal. I don't really know what to say about that. Like, if you have a child that plays on the street, and you tell them, like, hey, stop playing on the street because there's cars over there. And they keep playing on the street, and they just don't listen to you. And maybe they even become angry and aggressive towards you. Like, what is the solution then? I guess the solution is to call the cops, right? They actually did that in the United States. They called the cops on a 9-year-old at a school because the 9-year-old beat the teacher. Like, literally, she bit on the teacher, so they called the cops. Well, I guess, like, this is what progress looks like, right? Like, instead of just solving it the way the communists would solve it in my country, which is like the teacher would have given her a spanking, and then when she got home, her mom would have given her a spanking, right? But no, that's horrible, right? Like, this is the 50s. Now it's more progressive to just call the cops. Put handcuffs on the 9-year-old, arrest them, right? Like, that is the way society should look towards the future.